What's going on, everyone? Rachel West and Rick Stroud here. And Rick, as Tom Brady said this morning, he got right to the point. I'll do the same. He did announce his retirement this morning. Are you surprised by this? And also, no offense, but maybe more importantly, do you think the Bucs were surprised by this announcement?
Yeah, well, let's start with the Bucs first. I mean, they didn't know it was going to happen this soon. You know, it was exactly 1 year anniversary from a year ago when he retired on February 1st. And I think the thought was that Tom Brady would take a little more time. He didn't take much more time, no time at all, in fact. And he notified them at about 6 o'clock in the morning. By a little after 8 o'clock, he had posted that video, which lasted just a little over 50 seconds. And, I think this was obviously a possibility when you have a 46-year-old quarterback. There were a lot of opportunities for him with other teams. Certainly, he was a free agent. We saw what happened over the weekend with San Francisco. The Raiders had an interest. There were going to be others for sure. But we had heard that if he was going to play, it most likely would be back in Tampa Bay for the Bucs. This simply worked for him. I don't think he was interested in going very far. I just think that, when you talk to people about it, last year was exhausting for him. Last year was really tough for all that he went through, both on and off the field. He can still play. There's no question about that. I mean, he set an NFL record for completions. He threw for almost 4,700 yards. But I just think that the idea of being a dad, being a single dad, and also understanding what his options were. He's always been about winning championships, and I just don't feel like he felt he could give that full-time commitment to what he needs to do in order to accomplish that. And if it was going to happen, it was going to happen in Tampa Bay. And let's be honest, that team, as it ended last season, it was not a championship team. So a lot of work needed to be done.
Yeah, definitely a lot of question marks in the air around here these days. But over the span of his 23-year career, he only spent 3 short years of them here in Tampa, but he did leave quite the impact, not only on the organization, but also the entire city.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, I think, even though the Lightning have had a lot of success and the Rays went to a World Series, it wasn't until Tom Brady won a Super Bowl that the area became known as Tampa Bay. And he brought so much attention, obviously made the Bucs very relevant. All the, prime time games, the sold out stadiums, the season ticket log jam, all of that was responsible for, because of Tom. And I think, he had a special relationship with the Glazer family. He did a lot for them. They certainly did a lot for him. They almost never said no. He's very close to Jason Light, their general manager. But in the community, he did some works as well. And I think that he came here. He was embraced, obviously, by the fan base, but he also embraced Tampa Bay. He lived on the water on Davis Island, so he loved living in Florida. He'll continue to do so in Miami. But I think he really enjoyed his time here, and it's going to be a big void, without him, both from a national perspective, and also this football team is going to undergo a lot of changes.
And so now that we know Tom Brady is not coming back, we know door number 1 no longer an option. Now the Bucs have to pivot to plan B here. So what is next for them with Kyle Trask, the only remaining quarterback under contract going into next year?
Yeah, well, that's it. You can only really concentrate on what you have. And right now that's Kyle Trask. I think they obviously could re-sign Blaine Gabbert if he were inclined to do that. Blaine and Kyle were going to battle it out if Tom didn't come back a year ago, and he did. So that might still be part of the plan. I think it really depends also on, the Bucs are on the verge of hiring an offensive coordinator. They've had some 7 candidates that they've interviewed. Among them is Todd Monken, who coached here, in the past in 2018 under Dirk Cutter. Todd's coming from the college ranks. Certainly, he had a quarterback in Stetson Bennett that's probably not going to be drafted in the first 2 rounds anyway, but might be somebody that they would look at in the draft, as well as other free agents. There are guys out there available for trade, quite possibly, or may become free agents soon. If you're talking about Derek Carr or maybe a Baker Mayfield, somebody that Monken worked with with the Cleveland Browns. So they will look at every avenue, as they always do. The quarterback is the most important position. But with 24 free agents, and they are $55 million over the salary cap, Brady retiring actually helps them with that. There's a process where they can count just $11 million this year, $24 million in 2024. So they'll get a little bump from that. But they've got big decisions to make, 24 free agents, some players that people are familiar with won't be here next year. And it's going to be different. It's going to be a different football team, but still a wide open NFC South.
Absolutely. Well, Rick, maybe I'll be checking back in with you 40 days from now, and Tom Brady might be coming back again. Who knows? Hopefully not. You did say this time's for real. So we'll hold him to his word there. But as you said, lots of Bucs news happening right now otherwise. So make sure everyone, you are keeping up with all of our Bucs coverage that we have for you over on social media at Sports by Tampa Bay Times, as well as over at tampabay.com.